Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So to be really honest, a lot of you guys have been in my DMs like, girl, how do I get that perfect eyebrow? And you know what, in today's video I got you girl. This is a video that you will never have to watch another eyebrow video again, because I will have all the tea, all the juice, all the sauce, all the snacks on how to achieve the very perfect brow. So if you have been having a problem with eyebrows, or if you are interested in learning how to take your eyebrow game to the next level, do keep on watching. So starting off, I am just using this spoolie to gently comb my eyebrows in an upward motion, so that you can just get started on the trimming, because I want to do a little bit of grooming because I have some overgrown hairs. Next up, I'm going with a little bit of Aramis and just putting it right under my eyebrow area so that I can prepare for the trimming using a silicone shaper. I'm going to be using this silicone shaper to just gently remove the excess hair that is growing from underneath my eyebrow and over my eyebrow. And I would advise, if you guys do decide on doing your own eyebrow grooming or trimming, just always put a little bit of Vaseline or Aramis or just a little bit of oil, and that always helps with the razor so that you don't cut yourself. And then now I am just cleaning up any of that residue and any of that oil and excess hair, and then going in with this translucent powder and a fluffy brush to just set that powder in my eyebrows. The reason for doing this is to make sure that whatever eyebrow product that I do choose to use glides on really smoothly, and that there's no oil to prevent it from appearing. And then again, just going in with my spoolie and combing it outwards. Now this is a way that I usually use to know where my eyebrow is supposed to start, arch, and end. So using my nose, the mid part of the bridge of my nose, I will just mark where my eyebrow is supposed to start. Using the side of my nostril on one side, that is where the arch is supposed to, that is where the eyebrow is supposed to arch, and then using the end of my nose, that is where it's supposed to end. So I'm just doing this very lightly on both sides of the eyebrow, just so I know where my eyebrow placement is supposed to be. And this is a Davis pencil in the number 3 that I'm using. So basically now we have our outline in place, and now I'm getting in closer. As you can see, I am using a very sharp pencil. This is the Davis pencil in number 18, and I really do like this pencil because it's not too dark on me, because I personally prefer a more natural brow as opposed to a darker harsher brow. So I am just going in and very gently outlining the bottom part of my eyebrow using my very sharp pencil, and you can see I'm doing it where my eyebrow is supposed to start all the way to where it's supposed to end. And now I'm using the spoolie to just comb my eyebrows downwards, because I've realized that whenever I just draw my eyebrows on without combing my eyebrow hairs down, I do end up having thicker brows. So I always just like to draw push my eyebrows down and then just start drawing. And as you can see, for the top part, I'm not doing it all the way from the bottom part where I started the top part. I'm leaving a little bit of a distance just so they can not look like box brows and they look more natural. And when I get to the arch, I now change the direction of my pencil to a downward motion. As you can see, I'm using close to the end of my pencil and a very, very light hand to just make sure I connect those two lines together. So this does take practice, but the more you practice, the easier that you get at it. And now I am just using my same pencil to just draw hair-like strokes at the beginning of my eyebrow, the way your natural eyebrow usually is. And I'm just doing it on both sides, still using my pencil. It's still sharp. And then what I'm going to do now is just very gently continue adding hair-like strokes. And then using my spoolie, I will just now comb my eyebrow hairs in the direction that they're supposed to be on both sides, and then again go in with my Davis pencil in number 18 to just fill in the spaces that are a bit sparse with eyebrows. As you can see, I'm not really using a heavy hand. I'm using a light hand, and I'm using my pinky finger as my anchor so that I can be able to see where so that I can be able to position my hand, so that I can be able to very lightly draw those eyebrow hairs. And when you're doing this, just always make sure you use a very gentle hand, a very light hand, just so they can look hair-like. And I'm filling in all the spaces that I don't have a lot of eyebrow hairs. As you can see, the beginning part of my eyebrow has more hair than the rest of my eyebrow towards the end, so I'm just concentrating most of my filling in towards the end and towards the top and the bottom part of the middle part, and just making sure that each and every part is coated with a little bit of that eyebrow product, and just making sure that everywhere has a little bit of that product using a very light hand. Next up, I'm going in with my spoolie just to distribute the product evenly, because you don't want some parts to be darker and other parts to be lighter. I do prefer using the beginning part and just holding my spoolie at the top, because it does give you more control over where you're combing through your eyebrows. Like, you're able to really get in between like that eyebrow and just comb it through and make sure that all your product is distributed perfectly. Okay, next up is cleaning, but before that I am going to be using an eyelash glue to just flatten the brush that I'm going to be using, and I'm just using clear lash glue and making sure to coat my brush evenly with the product, and then very gently just squeezing out any excess product that may be on my brush, and making sure that it's really flat and very ready for application. As you can see, it was very dense at the beginning, but now at the top it's really nice and flat and ready for application. I am going to be going in with the LA Girl concealer in the shade Fawn, and I went off camera and did one of the eyebrows just so you guys could see how it looks like. And what I'm doing right now is just positioning the other eyebrow to make sure that they are on the same line. Do you ever have like sometimes where you draw your eyebrows and then you don't measure it out, and then one eyebrow is higher or lower than the other one, or thicker or thinner than the other one? So this method always makes sure that your eyebrows look as tweeny as possible, or sisters. So I am just very gently starting off my cleaning up process at the beginning, and as you can see, I'm using the bottom part of my eyebrow of my brush, and just very gently going along the same line that we drew on the bottom part of my eyebrow. And guys, this is why it's really important to use a sharp pencil, because it really does give you an easier time when it comes to cleaning up, because you can see the line really clearly, as opposed to using a really thick pencil and then going in and having very thick lines and having to just clean up in a place that you cannot see. So this, using a sharp pencil really helps, and I always like to do it like slowly by slowly, as you can see, step by step from the beginning to the end. And then after I finish, what I like to do is, using the side of the brush, I just go over the whole eyebrow just to make sure that also the concealer is well distributed throughout the whole eyebrow, and that there are no patches from the beginning to the end of the eyebrow, so that you can make sure that your eyebrow looks as neat and seamless as possible. Again, take your time with this. It does take a little bit of practice, but the more you do it, the better you become at it. So practice. That is the key. So now I am using the side of my brush to just go over the top part and to clean it. Some people do prefer using the same top part of the brush, but I always just prefer for the top part just using the side of my brush, because it's also flat. As you saw, we already flattened it using the eyelash glue. Also, if you don't have eyelash glue and you do have maybe glitter glue also does a perfect job in just flattening it out. But always make sure to just press out the excess product, so that you're not ending up applying either glitter glue or eyelash glue onto your eyebrows. So again, I'm following the natural plane of my eyebrows the way I drew them. And then when you get to the arch, guys, you can see I changed the way I'm holding my brush. Now I'm going in a downward motion and in a downward way, and I'm just doing it very slowly, making sure that my line is as neat and as sharp as possible. And you can do this as many times as possible, guys, but always make sure that you're doing it with a very light hand, so that you can be able to get the nicest and cleanest effect that you possibly can. Now I'm just going over and correcting any mistakes that I may have made, making sure that the beginning is as sharp, as neat, as beautiful and seamless as possible, using the side of my brush. And then later on, we're just going to go in and blend everything out using a flat fluffy brush. I really love this brush for blending out my concealer, but you can also alternate using just a normal fluffy brush. It doesn't have to be arched. It doesn't have to be arched, but I just like this because it allows me to go as close to my eyebrow as possible, so I can be able to blend out that concealer really nicely. And as you can see, I'm using pushing in method as well as just spreading it around, just to make sure that there's no halo, but that everything is nice and spread properly. You can also use your hands sometimes if need be, but just making sure that you also don't go too close to your eyebrow. Now for the mid part, you see this little like unibrow situation. I'm just going to take the remaining product on my brush. I'm not going to add any more because obviously when we go in with the concealer, we are going to put a little bit of concealer there, but I'm just using the excess product left on my brush to just gently push in the concealer between the two eyebrows, just to make sure that they are nice and separated and that it's not one unibrow, and just going over everything with a translucent powder. This is actually a really nice translucent powder. You can alternate it with a compact powder, but the reason I prefer a translucent powder is because it doesn't change the color of whatever concealer that I've put underneath my eyebrows. So I'm just pushing that in to make sure that I've set my eyebrows. And guys, this step is really important because whenever you do your eyes, you're not left with a little shiny looking under eye concealer situation. So this is the final product. You can see it's not hard, it's really easy, but initially when you're learning eyebrows, it's never easy. So just take your time and practice. As long as you know the technique and you know the shape of the eyebrow that you want to achieve, it's really easy. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe because I am having some amazing makeup video ideas coming up. So bye, have a great day guys.